right. So here's the one problem. I was uh, I was fine all day today until maybe 30 minutes ago, and then all of a sudden I started getting nauseous. So I did bring a Sprite, something I never do. I never drink cola, but I'm going to drink the cola today because my stomach feels sick. And I heard that when your stomach feels sick, the best thing to drink is ginger ale, but I don't have ginger ale. So the next best thing is this one. So I will get a glass. Yes, I keep random glasses around because you just never know when you're going to need to drink something. So, this is probably one of the plainest glasses that I have in my house. Oh, I mean, I have to do the yeah, the the rich people laugh, I guess. But anyway, I will drink this because I feel so sick, guys. My stomach feels like it is doing a backflip, and I don't know where it came from. Literally out of no freaking where. Oh, yeah, bismillah. Bismillah rahman rahim. Oh, Lord. Salute. Oh, that's so good. I listen. When you don't drink soda a lot, you miss the taste and the feel and the bubbles and the crispiness. It's so spicy. Hopefully, my nausea go away. Uh, and that's that. All right. So let's begin. Let's begin, shall we? Welcome all to Saturday night. Saturday night is better than Friday night. Those of you who were there yesterday for Samael's show, you guys forget what you saw. You guys will not remind me of what happened yesterday, okay? You guys will not remind me of what happened last night. First of all, I am not gay, okay? And I know they tried to pull feelings out of me, but it don't last long. I tell you that. It don't last long. I already forgot everything that I said. So, anybody who was there last night, just forget what you saw, forget what you heard. Okay? Okay? Yeah, because no, it's over. It's over. Like what you guys saw is not real. I was on drugs. I was on drugs and I was drunk. So, but I'm not gay. So, forget what you saw last night. That's not happening again tonight, I tell you that. That's probably why I'm nauseous, is because of what happened yesterday. Vape King. It happens. I know, Vape King. Samael, don't post notes on my channel without my permission. Vape King, it happens. I know it happens. But you know what? They took advantage of me, Vape King. Huh? I was in an altered state of mind, and they took advantage of me. Huh? They made me gay when I didn't want to be. I think I should press charges. Yeah, well, it better not happen again. It better not, Samael. That's what I'm saying. That was the gayest show that we've ever done. It's not happening again. I tell you that. So anyway, Yakub, I can't forget. It's so hard to forget. You will forget. Okay. So anyway, let's move on today. Let's move on. Welcome everybody to the Saturday night conversation / rage baiting / rant / yeah, the things that we do on Saturday. You guys know what we do. We just We enjoy each other. We talk crap. The ghost is doing the thing again. Oh my God. You guys just saw that, right? You guys just saw that? I'm glad that it is on camera. You guys just saw nobody was standing there. There's nobody in the room and the door just slammed. You guys remember we were just talking about that last night? And it just happened again. You guys saw it. Rewind it. I can't rewind it because it's live. But that stuff happens all the time. And I told you guys, it happens every time I'm alone. All right. Well, anyway, like I told you, it's a friendly ghost. He's not mean, so it's fine. So anyway, let's move on. We're gonna start this show off right. I'm getting haunted by a ghost. All right. So, welcome everybody. Welcome. And so what I want to talk to you guys about was this. Israel. I want to show you guys a quick clip of somebody who I guess I should preface this. I'll preface it. Here we go. Are you guys ready? Israel might become the first world nation to abolish age of consent rules. The reason I said that is because just last week or so, there was a big push in parliament in Israel to get rid of the age of consent. Now, currently, the age of consent in Israel is 16, although in the villages or certain areas, like religious areas, it is 14. So, legally, right now, if you look it up online, it says that the age of consent is 16 for both sexes, for male and female. Now, this number is pushed down to 14. The number is pushed down to 14 in many areas. So, but now there is a push in Israel to legally make it so that there is no such thing as an age of consent in the country. I want to know why. Why? And I want to speak to you guys about this really quickly because we as a society have, as a people, right? Let's just say as a people, 100 years ago, it was normal to have a wife that was 12 and over, because I think like before the age of consent was like 12. Just like 100 years ago, okay? 1910s, 1900s, 1850s, 1890s, having a wife that was 12 was the youngest that you could have. If you did any younger than that, then you were considered a pedophile. If you had a wife who was young, you just had a wife that was young. It wasn't a big deal. But as humans progressed and realized, hey, let's not do that. We are living longer. Humanity is living longer. We don't have to force people to grow up so fast. And then a beautiful thing came along with Disney and Disneyland and Disney World, and this beautiful thing called childhood became a thing. And childhood is something that humans all together vowed to protect. That between between birth and a certain amount of years, we are going to protect our young humans and not subject them to adult stresses, adult pressures, adult life. We're not going to do that to them. And, we'll let them enjoy this time in their life, right? So now for the past 100 years, it has been not prohibited, but it has been, I guess you could say, illegal, immoral, wrong, pervertive to mess with people younger than 16 years old or 18 years old. We have all kind of collectively said around that age is the age that should be okay for people to consent to sexual activities. Now, we that kind of happened worldwide. If you guys don't know, worldwide this became a thing, and it almost became a thing like at once. Pretty much all around the world, it pretty much became a thing. Like within 20 so years, it it became a thing worldwide, where everyone collectively said, okay, we're not, childhood is going to be a thing. Before 100 years ago, you guys do realize there was no such thing as childhood. There was no separation between the worlds. You guys know that, right? I mean, once you were old enough to walk and talk, you contributed to society. There was no protection for people of that age group. Before about 100 years ago, once you got into puberty, you were considered an adult. There was no, I'm still going to protect you even though you're menstruating. I'm still going to keep you as, it wasn't like that. I mean, things were a lot different. This is why I tell people, do not judge ancient times with modern sensitivities, because a lot of people look at things that happen in antiquity and say, oh, that's wrong, or oh, this is, how dare these people, because people look at people who have plenty of wives, or people who look at even in biblical times or any religious times, a lot of people, kings and so on, they had wives of all ages. They had wives who were 11, had wives who were 10, had wives who were 40, had wives of many. They had 10, 11 sometimes. And now you see modern people looking at that, at what people did back then, and saying, oh, that's just wrong, or oh, that, but you're judging ancient times with modern sensitivities. Now that we've moved on as humanity, we have all collectively said that we won't do that anymore. Now it's like, why would a nation like Israel even consider going back to that type of lack of protection of children, just the lack of protection of childhood? Why would a nation publicly say that they are really considering reducing, or not reducing, removing rather, the age of consent? The age of consent is something that I think that was a progression of humanity to protect childhood. But when you see nations outwardly having this large segment of their population demanding that they remove the protection of children, it makes me wonder, what are you trying to gain? What is it that you need so badly that removing the protection of the age of consent will give you? What will that give you? That's my question. My Nuka says, so we're reverting backwards. Nuka, we've been doing that since the 19th Amendment. I mean, we've been doing that since women began voting. We have been reverting backwards. But nonetheless, we see that we are getting to a point where people are getting so progressive that they're being regressive. And when I say that, I mean the left has pushed for this. I don't know if you guys know about this, but the left considered adding P to their acronym, to the LGBT. They considered adding a letter P. Now, what does P stand for? Proverbs? No, it doesn't stand for Proverbs. It doesn't stand for prosperity. It stands for PDF files. They considered adding a P, the letter P, to LGBTQIA plus pedos plus everybody sick. They considered properly adding them as a protected class within the rainbow community. So, when you see that, and we all know, I don't want to say this, but I will. We know that Hollyweird is kind of pushed by a certain group of people. And I know that this certain group of people are very, very left leaning, and they constantly push for perverted ideas in every segment of society. And I listen, guys, I don't tell me it's not a race thing. I didn't say it's a race thing. This is a maybe cultural thing. I don't know. Listen, uh, I've heard things. I don't know, but I do know that this group of people, let me show you guys something. There is a woman who came out and she gave her testimony. I'll share it with you.
And that rating how the creation of the double income household was one of those changes.
No, not that one. This one.
היי, רציתי לשתף משהו אחרי תקופה ארוכה שאני סוחבת את זה עם עצמי. קוראים לי שושנה סטרוק. אני עברתי פגיעה מינית בילדות על ידי שני ההורים שלי. הפגיעה המינית צולמה. זה אומר שזה בעצם שימש לפורנוגרפיית ילדים. אני גם נפגעתי מינית בתור ילדה, אבל גם בעצם כנראה שאני נמצאת כרגע תחת איומים של גורמים עבריינים יותר גדולים. אני מאוד לא מבינה בעולם הזה. אני מרגישה מאוימת. אני הגשתי תלונה במשטרה על ההורים שלי לפני שיצאתי מהארץ. עכשיו חזרתי בבעלה לארץ כי הבנתי שאני בעצם מאוימת על ידי גורמים עבריינים.
Which brings...
So that woman, she shared her testimony as an Israeli woman that comes from parents who both are of that type of society. And that society is not shunned in Israel. They're not shunned. It's an open thing. And exploiting their own kids, do you guys know? You guys know, right? I mean, I don't have to get into detail, but you guys know the many children of certain politicians, of actors. I mean, Will Smith's son, you guys remember, what's his name, Jaden? These are people who are in this society. And when I say this society, I'm talking about the society that's dominated by a certain group of people that openly promote these things. Like, I'm not talking about this just because, I don't, because you guys know me. I don't have to say the word, you guys know I don't like certain peoples. Okay. There's a certain group of people I don't like, but I'm not saying this because I don't like them. I'm saying this because I think you guys can understand that this group of people are probably most likely, most definitely at the forefront of all that is unholy in this country. These people are the people that have started all of the bullshit that we are dealing with in this country today. These people are the ones who are in control of the music industry, banking, money, everything that Hollywood, politics, everything. These people are behind all of the damage that was done during the Black Lives Matters, blowing up the nation, setting everything on fire. These people are behind all of that. They use other groups in this nation to do the dirty work. These people are behind all of it. And when I'm talking about George Soros, and you guys know who he is and what he is, and he's just one. He's just one that's well known. But if you ever go to one of those big meetings, do you guys know what type of meetings I'm talking about? Please tell me you guys know. The meetings that happen once a year in certain places around the world. Huh? The, you guys know, right? I mean, I don't have to. And it happens in different places around the world every year, but it's a meeting where the most powerfuls of the powerful of the world get together. And this group is heavily present at those meetings. And when they're having these meetings about what they're going to do next, oftentimes they speak about donating money or doing charities to certain groups, but the charities are not so, they're not for the progression of the United States. They are for the destruction of the United States through societal breakdown, population control, and the complete obliteration of family structures, everything, in order to create a population that is numb, vulnerable, and easily persuaded through, you guys understand. So, yeah. So when I saw that Israel may become the first world nation to get rid of the age of consent openly, I had to talk to you guys about it, because what do you guys see? What would be a reason that a full-on nation would want to leave their young without protection? What? Because it goes against humankind, human nature, to leave your young and your vulnerable without protection. It goes against human nature of any species. Any species wants their young to make it. Any species wants to protect their young. Why would a whole nation want to go against what the whole world has collectively said that we would do? And the last thing I wanted to bring up to you guys about this topic anyway, because I have lots of things I want to talk to you guys about, but this is the end of this topic. But childhood, the idea of childhood. A lot of people tend to think that childhood has always existed. Childhood did not always exist. And I know a lot of people don't look too far back in history. And when you look at history, you look at it with disgust or something like that. But when I looked deep down about childhood in America, in the Middle East, in Asia, in Africa, and every other area, childhood did not exist until about 120 years ago. And the reason I say this is because even if you go to a place like, I don't know, the UK, United Kingdom, think about the Victorian age, the Edwardian age. What happened to children? What did children go through during those times? When you reached the age of 5, what did they do? They tied a rope to your back and dropped you down chimneys because you were small enough to clean inside the chimney chutes. You worked. Once you were able to walk properly, you worked. There was no sense of, he's a child, we won't do it. There was no thing as childhood. So when I think of childhood and how we as humans have all collectively said we are going to protect children, yes, exactly, primal one. The factories, you had to work, Skittles man. You had to contribute. Whether you were born on a farm or in the city, you were going to contribute. You were going to do something. Whether it was sweeping barns or sweeping factories, you were going to work. You're going to do something. And that's why I was speaking about childhood being such a it's something that we should protect. We should protect it now. And we have progressed as humanity to the point where we understand that there is a segment of life that you shouldn't have to worry. You shouldn't have to be weighed down by the pressures and stresses of life, at least in the beginning, because you're still learning. You're still learning how to deal. You're still learning how to communicate, how to be a proper human, how to be a civilized human. You shouldn't be, weighed down with other things. So the other thing I wanted to bring up about childhood was Disney. You guys know Disney, and I know whatever our thoughts are about Disney, I know Disney and Nickelodeon and all of them are absolute garbage. I understand that. But one thing that Disney did give that nowhere in the world had a place like Disney World. And the reason I say it's a big deal is because me as an Arab, me as a Middle Easterner, we as kids, we can't even fathom what something like Disney World was. We couldn't, because think about it. It is a place that is specifically for children to promote their imagination, to make a world that's specially for them. We never had anything like that in the world for children before America created something like Disney World. So, childhood should be protected, and I think that it would be a great regression if we went back to not protecting those first years. Those first years of life should be protected. And we will be doing a great disservice to humanity if we allow a nation, especially a first world nation like Israel, if we allow them to remove the age of consent. We would be doing a great disservice to our species if we allowed this to happen. And I yield on that topic. I want to bring up something else with you guys, because you guys know it is the weekend. And in the weekend, you guys know that Larry creates a list for me. And Larry has graciously given us a list for this week. Larry spends the whole entire week searching and combing through the internet and interwebs and intercables. He does this in search of the greatest, latest, juiciest, most popular, and the stupidest news that we need this week. We need to finish this week with a bang, and we always get to with Larry's list. Thank you, Larry, so much for providing us with this list. And I want to talk to you guys about some Muslims and some Christians. So, a Muslim mayor said to a Christian resident, it sounds like I'm about to say a joke. So, a Muslim, a Christian, and a resident went to a bar. A Muslim mayor said to a Christian resident at a city council meeting, he said this, and I quote, "You're not welcome here." All right, here we go. Abdullah Hamoud, mayor of Dearborn, Michigan, he went into a rant aimed at Christian resident Edward Barham, who voiced his objections to the creation of street signs honoring reported terrorist sympathizer, an Arab American news publisher named Osama Siblani. Mayor Hamoud was quick to fire off insults at Barham, who respectfully recited eye-opening past comments from the person that they're trying to honor, Shiblani, such as, and I quote, "Blood of martyrs irrigates the land of Palestine, whether we are in Michigan and whether we are in Yemen." Other past statements by Siblani advised everyone to fight within their means, that they will fight with stones Others will fight with guns. Others fight with airplanes. Hold on. Wait a minute, Sablani. Wait a minute. I was with you for a second, Sablani. Listen, hold on. Hold on. Sablani, you're making us look bad. Listen, Sablani, Habibi, Habibi, tal, really quickly. Let me talk to you, Habibi. All right, listen. It is a little bit too soon. It is a little bit too soon, Habibi, to speak about planes and it is the month of September, Habibi. I think we would all uh, do ourselves a service as Arabs and refrain from talking about airplanes during this month. But anyway, that's these are his words, not mine, not mine. All right, so he said, the blood of martyrs irrigates the land of Palestine, whether we are in Michigan and whether we are in Yemen. Other past statements by Siblani advise everyone to fight within their means, that they will fight with stones, others fight with guns, some will fight with planes, drones, and rockets. And Barham likened the now green-lit street signage to Hezbollah Street or Hamas Street. That itself set off the mayor, who responded to Barham saying, hey, although you live here, I want you to know as mayor, you aren't welcome here. No. If woo, if a white person were to say that to a Muslim or an Arab, they would be persecuted to the highest degree, because how dare you say just because you live here you aren't welcome. Now we have an Arab American saying just because you live here you're not welcome here to a American resident who is not an immigrant, I'm assuming. All right, here we go. Although you live here, I want you to know, as mayor, you aren't welcome here. His response to Barham stunned the other residents in attendance, as you can imagine. What the hell wrong with this guy, man? Okay. They were stunned, and other council members interrupted the mayor and warned both men about making personal attacks before revealing that the signs were approved by Wayne County, not the city of Dearborn. So all of this firing back and forth is all for none. This was not approved by Wayne County. I'm sorry, it wasn't approved by Dearborn. It was approved by Wayne County. So chill, relax. You guys put your stones and your guns and your airplanes and drones, put those away. Let's be calm. Let's have some baklava and some chai. Let's just chill, okay? Why are we yelling? Why are we getting angry, Habibi? What is your problem? Despite the council members' attempt at bringing the heat down a bit, Hamoud continued. Of course he did. Freaking Arab. This is the problem with my people. You don't know when to stop. You don't know when to hush. I know. I know it was, I know. So it continued so he continued with his rant by calling Barham a bigot, a racist, and an Islamophobe. Oh, how dare you. Oh, that's mighty rich. Oh, boy. And this is how intolerance for one another begins. When Barham was called a bigot, a racist, and an Islamophobe, he replied with a more adult response by citing Jesus before saying, "Blessed are the peacemakers," and promoted his desire to promote harmony as a Christian man. This incident reportedly raised questions about whether or not local government officials are ready to engage with diverse constituent viewpoints. No, 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 no. See, what we're not going to do, we're not going to act like, oh, this is a diverse constituent viewpoint. No, 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 no. That was somebody talking out of their rear end. And you know what? The Christian took the high road. And hey, I appreciate him for doing that. And hey, top, top, top to my people. Top, top, top is like shame. Top, 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 shame. I cannot believe you did that. I am ashamed. So that happened. I don't know what you guys want to say about that. Trust the justice system with empathy. Yeah. 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 That's what that was. Okay. All right. Let's move on. I give you guys more news. Oh my God. So you guys know what happened to the Fox News news van? I'll talk to you guys about that in a second. But before I do that, I want to speak to you about. Hold on. I'm looking for it. Ridiculously stupid people. In this week's Ridiculously Stupid, I want to give you this. Jasmine Crockett. Do you guys know Jasmine Crockett, right? You guys know her, right? You guys know the Texas Democrat, Jasmine Crockett? Jasmine Crockett has put her foot in her mouth yet again. In the wake of this recent tragedy, Texas Democrat Jasmine Crockett has not failed to make a fool out of herself yet again with more brainless rhetoric. This time around, Crockett is calling ICE slave patrols. All right. Jasmine Crockett is an African American Democrat in Texas. She is calling Homeland Security slave patrols. Slave patrols. While insulting the murder of 20-year-old Kayla Harrison. Kayla Harrison, whose sexual assault and murder by strangulation by an MS-13 affiliated illegal alien was described by Crockett as the death of a random dead person. All right. Okay. So you all right. You know what? I will wait. I'll leave my comments until the end. I'll leave my comments in the end, okay? Let me continue. Jasmine Crockett is calling ICE slave patrols while insulting the murder of 20-year-old Kayla Harrison. Kayla Harrison, as you guys may know, was sexually assaulted and murdered by strangulation by an illegal alien who was affiliated with MS-13. Okay? And Jasmine Crockett described that violent murder as the death of a random dead person. When she was confronted about the statement, Crockett doubled down on her minimalization and dismissal of illegal alien crimes. None of us want to be unsafe. Yeah, but we're not looking at facts here. We're not looking at the fact that immigrants, regardless of how many times you're going to cherry pick and say, well, there was this one immigrant that was here illegally and they ended up killing this one person. Well, for every immigrant that you have an example of, I'll raise you at least 2 to 5 white supremacists, if not more, right? Right? Crockett asserted that law enforcement needs to follow the data and the facts so that they can make people feel safer before accusing the police of being born out of slave patrols. Bitch! Ah! Let's go to a happy place. Let's go to a happy place because I'm about to lose it. I gotta think of something that's not. All right. This, these people are just so. Larry, let me talk to you really quick, Larry, come here. Larry, come to the front of the class for a second. Larry, Larry, I, I tell you to make a list every week, right? Right? But I told you many times, no, don't say no. I'm not done. Larry, I tell you to make a list, but every time I tell you, don't make me have an aneurysm. And you know what else? The stupid ghost likes when I get upset. That's when the energy starts getting even more. That's when more things happen because you know how spirits run off of energy. And then once I get angry, then doors start slamming even more. Larry, Larry, I see Larry. Who wants Larry's job? We have a job opening. Larry. All right. All right. She 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 said that people are cherry picking illegal immigrant crimes, um and that's unfair because white supremacists live in our borders. Let me tell you something. When it comes to being cherry picked, the reason why these things are so offensive, the reason why these crimes are so offensive, are because these people shouldn't even be here. So if we have people who shouldn't even be here and we have a problem that can be solved but won't because of certain people, certain groups like her and, sanctuary cities and so on, we have a problem that shouldn't exist. That's what makes it so offensive, Jasmine. This is the reason why we call out every single death by illegal cockroaches, because those are people that should have never died, because those people should have never been here. There's a difference. There is a freaking difference. Now, the people who are born in this country or who are naturalized citizens to this country, now, those people, they are our problem. They are our problem. Okay? When you're born in this country and you commit a crime, you are accounted for because you live here. You are accounted for. Your head has been accounted for. We can take you and put you through the whole legal system as much as we want. We can legally put you to death if you commit enough crimes. Now, we can't do the same with these illegal cockroaches. We don't know who they are. They could be giving us wrong names, wrong information. We don't know what disease they're bringing here. We don't know nothing. And then they kill American citizens and then they bloop, jump their cockroach tails back to their own countries. That's the difference. It's significantly worse. I don't understand why. Why American? I mean, she's supposed to be American. I mean, she's in Texas, for crying out loud. I mean, you would think that living in Texas that she would understand the problem. You think that she would understand the problem because you're right there next to the problem. But no. Somehow the disease of liberalism infects people's brains even there. It's like a parasite, no? You know what I mean? Like a brain eating amoeba. Like a brain eating cockroach. I mean, it is. And Democrats give out taxpayer money. Oh, no, not even that. They live off of taxpayer money. They give it away. They don't even, I mean, I want to say they give it away to the poor, but that would be something like Peter Pan, taking from Jim to pay John. But no, these people, they act like they're these saints, like act like they're freaking Mother Teresa out there, and they are just, oh my gosh. Oh my god. I know 3G. That's what I'm trying to do. That's what I'm trying to do. Listen, if I can continue to be this way, 3G, 3G, listen, watch this. Because of my way of like being like this, I have not had a strike on my channel yet. Do you guys remember when we had the big channel? I would get struck for, hello, I would have been done by now. They would have taken me out. But guess what? I can do whatever the fuck I want now. Yeah, yeah. Because as long as I don't get too many people, I'm good. I'm invisible. I love it. Let me live. This is how we had it before the channel got big. And I loved it. Once the channel got big, I was getting struck left and right. I couldn't say what I want. Every time I said flag or flag it, I got suspended. Okay, I'm trying. I'm sorry. Sometimes I get a little excited though, because, with my freedom comes lack of responsibility. Sorry. But anyway, let's move on to wait, this story is not finished. Wait. Oh, this story is not finished. Okay, we're gonna finish this and we're moving on. Because I'm gonna have a freaking aneurysm talking about this Jasmine Crockett chick, okay? So Crockett asserts that we are cherry picking illegal immigrant crime, the illegal cockroaches, that they're not really bad. We're just looking for the bad ones. They're not really bad. We're out here looking for the bad ones, and we really shouldn't do that because there's actually real bad white people who are like racist and stuff. So I've heard. So we should be looking at them. Meanwhile, ICE Homeland Security proved that they do indeed follow the facts. 13,000 convicted illegal alien murderers on their docket as of September of 2024. With 1,845 of those with pending charges as of 2024. The convictions are both domestic and abroad. Okay? ICE is not only following the facts, they are following the big criminals. They are mostly following the big criminals. ICE doesn't really, even though they know that they're there, they don't really care about the farmer or the seasonal. You guys know that there are illegals that come over here seasonally to make money during certain seasons, and then they go back to their country with the money that they made. We're not talking about them. We're not talking about the people who live good, who stay out of trouble, who don't get DUIs, don't kill Americans, don't, sell drugs, are not gang affiliated. We're not talking about those. ICE is mainly following the criminals. So when she talks about ICE needs to follow the data and the facts, they are. What do you think that they're out there doing? You think that ICE is just so busy out there following, I don't know, Jose and Maria around to farms for cherry picking, for strawberry picking? You think that ICE has time to follow that petty stuff? No. Anyway, the convictions are both domestic and abroad if people paid attention. ICE also reported that 662,566 of the illegal invaders or illegal cockroaches on its docket have a criminal history. They are the main ones that they're going after first. The ones that have to go first are the ones that are associated with MS-13 or other gangs or cartels. Los Zetas, the Sinaloa cartel, all the other cartels and the wannabe gangsters, they're going after them first. But anyway, um, there is something here. I'll bring this one up. Hold on. So, over, I guess, last weekend or not too long ago, a Fox News van was kind of attacked. They said they wanted to bomb it anyway. And it was a 58-year-old Adib Nasir and 31-year-old Ahmed Nasir, who were arrested by the Utah police after they were caught planting a bomb underneath a Fox News van. Someone noticed the duo's suspicious activity and promptly contacted the police, who investigated and found the bomb. Police reported that the bomb's fuse had been lit, but thankfully, the device failed to function as intended. Following their search, authorities obtained a warrant and searched Nasir's home. They searched Nasir's home. Fox News took photos of the property, which had two anti-Trump flags on the lawn, which said, "Let's go, Taco," and the other flag saying, "Is he dead yet?" The taco flag is a reference to the meme that says, Trump always chickens out. Both Nasirs, the father and son, I guess, they were found in the home and arrested. They were found with spoof weapons. The suspects told police that those weapons that they were holding were real, even though they weren't. And this prompted the officers to evacuate the home nearby properties. They had to evacuate the nearby properties, followed by a call for the bomb squad, all because of false threats. Now, look, although the weapons found near the Nasir's home were fake, other items found in their home were not. Okay. The police found firearms and explosive related components, ingredients, if you will, tools, evidence. There's been evidence linking them to the attempted bombing, and that was also found in the home. But both men have been charged with 2 counts of manufacturing, possessing, selling, and using weapons of mass destruction. Adil Nasir is a Utah native and a U.S. citizen, by that matter, but Adib, who is also a citizen, was born in Pakistan, which means he may be getting a visit from ICE once all of this is concluded. So ICE is already waiting to get their hands on him too. And apparently, moving on from that, Joe Biden is out of a job. What do you mean furry costumes? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? I know. So many don't even understand that they support this debauchery voting progressive. And look, I want to say something about the Fox News van really quick. I don't know if I believe that story. Not because I'm Arab, and I'm not protecting Arabs because I'm Arab. That's not why. I don't know if I believe the story because I find it strange that these things are happening when they happen. You know what I mean? Like, for it to be Fox News in particular, I don't know. I feel something weird about it. It's just, call me suspicious, call me skeptical. I feel that something is off in that story because you telling me that these people made a bomb, they put it on a van, and then they just hung around to wait for it to explode? You telling me they just hung around? Because the people said, oh, they noticed that the 2 men were acting strange. And it's like, okay, so when people make bombs, they don't typically stand that close to be caught. Like, I mean, you're not just going to stand there like Is it going off yet? Is it going off? You're not going to do that. So it just seems weird. And it also seems weird to me that, I don't know, being Fox News, that it had to be Muslims during September, around September 11th time. It just, I don't know. It's just something just smells off to me. And I could be wrong. Maybe it is somebody trying to get famous around September 11th again. Uh, I don't know. I don't know. It just seems too stereotypical. Like, it just seems like too properly coordinated for me to believe. And, I could be wrong. I could be wrong. Maybe people are that stupid. Who knows? BTK. In the US Census, white is a person with origins in any of the original peoples of Europe, the Middle East, or North Africa. I know, but it's not really white. They're Caucasian, but not white. White is European. Caucasian is the race that I would say that Middle Easterners and everyone else fall under. Mediterranean people and Greek and all that. But anyway, Joe Biden cannot find a job. History has shown us all that when a president leaves office, they usually hit a major financial windfall in some form. You guys remember when Obama left? Okay. Obama became richer than rich. And I just don't know how that happened. I mean, he didn't come out with a clothing line. He didn't. I just wonder how that happened. Trump is the only one that lost money from being president. But anyway, they usually have some major financial windfall in some form. That trend, of course, has been broken with Joe Biden, who is reportedly struggling to find work. Joe is said to have very few public speaking gigs and even less advances on his memoir. Most exiting presidents make a lot of money from speaking engagements, memoirs, and by opening nonprofit businesses. However, the 82-year-old Joe Biden is coming off a very unpopular presidency, as you guys know, and his mental decline is well documented. With that said, Joe has had very few speaking engagements and a $10 million advance on his book. But that's nothing compared to $60 million received by the Obamas. Would you think about that? The Obamas, $60 million. They received $60 million when they left office. And that was also Big Mike. Big Mike could finally live his best life. I recently came across, it was an article. And you guys know how suspicious I am and skeptical, but this article, right? It was this gentleman who said that he had worked for, I guess it was a news company, or he was some type of reporter or something. But he ended up being around Big Mike, Michelle Obama, a lot during the presidency of Obama. Now, he commented that during the presidency of Obama, Michelle Obama was never allowed to be seen by doctors. Like, if Michelle ever got sick, I mean, it was written in the contract that if Michelle ever got sick, that she would only be seen by one person and one person only, and no one else could be in the room. In fact, during this time, this person who wrote this story or this report that I read, he specified that only once did Michelle Obama get kind of sick and started feeling a little bit bad. And this person who was medically trained tried to take her, tried to take care of her. And I guess this the not Social Security, the Secret Service came up and said, "Hey, you cannot touch Michelle Obama. You can only take her vitals." So people were not even allowed to examine her, to, like any other first lady, they are allowed to take care, to provide health measures and what have you. But with Michelle Obama, none of that was allowed. They weren't allowed to even be close to her, him, they. And another thing that he said, he also mentioned one time when Michelle was in the restroom that another reporter had walked in on Michelle by accident, but they realized that Michelle was not sitting on the toilet. Rather, Michelle was facing the toilet seat while they heard urination being occurring. So somebody walked in on Michelle urinating, but not sitting down like a lady would, but standing up and facing the toilet while urine was being heard. So that happened, and I guess that somehow they were sworn to secrecy and they were made to write an NDA or something, and I don't know why, but now it's coming out. But a lot of people are also saying that Joan Rivers, that's one of the reasons why she was taken out, of course. I mean, we've already talked about that, but the fact that Joan Rivers came out and she said that with such confidence. Joan Rivers, I mean, she said that with such confidence. And I mean, I watch that every now and again just so I can look at, when you can kind of tell when someone's pulling your leg, kind of joking with you or saying something in a joking fashion. Joan Rivers, she was not joking when she said that. She was dead serious, and now she's dead. But I just, I don't know. I mean, when you see more and more people coming out with their stories about Michelle, it just, because there's nobody, listen, I tell you this, there's nobody that I have seen. I look at stories all the time. I have not seen not one story out there of someone writing, "Oh, I know for a fact that Michelle is a woman because of this, this, and this. I saw her when she was pregnant. I went to the baby shower. I touched her belly. I have pictures of her when she was pregnant." I don't know, but even in that report that I gave you of the gentleman who walked in on Michelle Obama, he said himself, he said, "Michelle Obama is not a woman. Michelle Obama is a man with tits, but who still has a wiener." But he says that she has breasts, but she still has her wiener. And I mean, I just want to see a report of somebody coming out and saying, "Hey, this is absolute garbage. It's not true, and I can prove it." I haven't seen anybody out there who has come out and said that. If anything, now that more time is passing, I'm seeing more and more articles coming out exposing what they saw during the presidency of Obama and what they witnessed and what we all witnessed. Obama calling his wife Michael. He called her Michael 3 times publicly. There are so many women's names that have a masculine way of it. You know what I mean? Like a woman named Michelle, the masculine form of her name would be Michael. My name is Amira. The masculine form of my name is Amir. Never has my husband ever slipped up and called me Amir. Never has he been speaking about me to other people and said, "Oh, here comes my wife, Amir." Never. Because it doesn't happen. It's not a normal thing. So for anybody trying to excuse what Obama was doing and trying to say, "Oh, it's a slip up, it happens to everybody," that is not the case. So many men, I mean, Think about it. So many men have wives with names that have a masculine version, and they never call their wives by the masculine form of their name. If your wife is named Maria, you're not going to call her Mario. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't see it. I don't see it. She calls him daddy in bed. Oh my gosh. Stop it. Stop it. Vape King says, why are all the leaders pedo and gay or trans? Perhaps because they all worship Satan. And that is, listen, that's Vape King. I don't need to say that outwardly. I think that the pride understands what we are saying, Vape King, without having to actually say those words. You know what I mean? We, the more and more we're talking, I mean, just me earlier when I was speaking about a certain group of people, you guys understood without me actually saying those words. You guys understood what I was getting at. And we know that there's a group of people out there who run the world who think that they are God. They believe that they are God because so much money and so much power has corrupted them to make them think they're something that they're not. And those people tend to do the most perverted things to people, including their own children, their own family members. And what makes you think if they would do that to their own family members, that they would give a damn about you and yours? If they would do that to their own, what won't they do to you? So to have faith or trust in these people is just, I don't understand where the confidence in that comes from. I don't understand where it comes from. It's a false sense of security, thinking that these people have your best interest at heart. They don't. They, I mean, come on. These people sacrifice their own, and these satanic rituals, these cabals, these, and to, I mean, come on now. I and this is another reason why I brought up what I brought up in the beginning about Israel and removing the age of consent. I'm just, it all ties in together, that what they will do to their own, what won't they do to you? And then they are outwardly saying, this is the country that was breeded or bred by America, the British, and a few other people. But this country that was made by America and the UK and a few other people, this is where all the dirt happens, or where all the dirt comes from. All the dirt and all the power and control over our media, our music, TV, news, even our societal battles that we have are all controlled by that group of people. And then we have that same group of people out here saying that they think that removing the age of consent should be a thing. And my worry is that somehow they are going to start trying to influence America to do the same. Do you know what I mean? Start trying to influence America to start seeing the age of consent as something that is antiquated, something that's old. Oh, we don't need that. That's just that's just another excuse to put people in jail. We don't need laws against, age gaps. We don't age gaps. What's wrong with an age gap? And then I know that they will turn it into a race thing and say, oh, age gaps, that's just a white thing. That's a white man culture thing. Other nations, they never cared about age gaps. That's a white person trying to force the brown and black people to not believe in age gaps. We should remove the age of consent because that is a white man's thinking. No matter how dumb that sounds right now, We have seen worse. We have seen people vilify milk because that's a white man thing. The rest of the world doesn't drink milk because the rest of the world is lactose intolerant. That's a white man thing. Do you think that they won't try to make it into something that has to be fought for, I don't know, for the rights and freedoms of black people and brown people? They'll do it. And that's what I'm saying. So if it's starting over there, I just worry about it trying to creep over here. Maybe this is a test run, is what I'm saying. Maybe they're using Israel as a test run to see if abolishing the age of consent will actually fly. If we can get it to fly there, then maybe we can trickle it over to the United States too. In the Catholic Church, they used to have a controversial Good Friday prayer for the Jews. They were viewed with contempt by Catholics for the longest time. Oh, wow. Wow. The slave patrol drinks milk. Listen, I tell you what, that has already been said. It's already been said. Someone came to me and said, "Can you drink milk?" I said, "Why wouldn't I?" They said, "Oh, because supposedly milk is racist. Because only white people can drink milk because the rest of the world is lactose intolerant or something." I'm like, what the hell? Who said this? But it's a thing that people believe because I don't know. People were up in arms about white furred dogs a few years ago too. Shut up. Really? I don't believe it. I mean, I don't deny it. Darren, removing the age of consent is a seriously shaky ground to be on. It's going to lead to all kinds of hell. You think we don't know, Darren? And that is the thing. That's the thing I'm talking about. And that's why I brought up the history of childhood and why we should reject that vehemently. We need to vehemently reject that. That is something that we should. But like I said, we're getting so progressive that we're becoming regressive. That's all that's happening. So progressive that we're getting regressive. Pedophile logic. And that's my thing too. It's like we've moved on past that as a species. We've moved on past that idea that, oh, just because you reach the age of puberty that now you're an adult. Oh, because you menstruate now you're a woman. We've moved past that as a species and realized that's not what humanity is about. That's not what we're about. We're not just about if you bleed or if you don't. We're not about if you have hair on your chin or not. Our brains and our lives are so much more complicated and complex than that. We're not jungle animals that live that way. Liberals hate the color white like the bull hates the color red. That actually might be a good meme to have somebody hold the color red and then hold the color white and then a liberal is like trying to attack it. I only drink milk from brown cows so I don't become racist. Well, wouldn't that be chocolate milk? Vape King. Some white folks are lactose intolerant too. I think that's why they have a 2% milk now. Or a 2 milk now. I think that's what you meant. Amira can eat mayonnaise too. Whiteness confirmed. No. Darren, honestly, I think it's because the people in power are already doing this stuff to kids. They just want it to become normalized. Darren, Darren, you know, this is also the reason why the rainbow flag, or wait a minute, I'm past 10 minutes. I can say whatever the hell I want to. All right, this is the reason why the faggot flag is colorful. all the bright colors, that's the reason why. Because who in the world loves bright, fun colors? Children. Children. Who in the world likes glitter and shiny stuff and unicorns? Children. Children. Who are they trying to attract to their world by making it look innocent and fun and cute? Children. Why do they want to put drag queens in schools reading books to children? And they put the drag queen in the school and they have glitter makeup and all these sparkles on their face, little diamonds. They put horns on their heads to look like unicorns and weird fairy tale creatures. That is attractive to children. Why would you do those things if you weren't trying to attract children? These people want the children. And we've always known that from the beginning. That's the reason why we rejected them from the beginning. And from there, we were called homophobes because why are you scared? We don't want to come for your children. We just want the right to be married like everyone else. Remember they said that bullshit? You guys remember? We just want the rights to be married like everybody else. And then they got into schools and they forced their way into schools, forcing their ways into women's bathrooms, forcing their ways into everything that's holy. They have corrupted churches. And now the thing is, they dare you to say anything. They dare you. But they, from the beginning, said, oh, we don't want to come for your children. We don't want to change society. We just want the rights to be married like everyone else and to be dignified. And now they have become the most disgusting, most undignified thing that has ever crossed this whole planet. But the thing is, now they do it and we can't say anything about it because if we do, we're evil. We're bad. We're not progressive and understanding because we don't believe that any of this is a mental illness. This is just another way of living. And adopting children. Yes, BTK, and they adopt children. What the hell is wrong with these people? And for the life of me, someone said something like, "Oh, well, a lot of heterosexual parents are evil. So I would rather them go to gay parents than to be with evil heterosexual parents." I mean, sometimes I just want to take people's trachea out of their throats. Like, I just want to reach and just like take their trachea out. Like, really? I'm like, yeah, why don't we just, oh, well, asteroid. The asteroid. Gay dudes adopting boys. Do you do know that they are giving boys to faggot? You guys know that? Did you guys know that? They are giving young boys to these people. And they're almost, how do you sleep at night? How do you say, I love children, I care about them, and I work at an adoption agency, and we are looking for the finest people to have children? We are looking for the best people that deserve to be in charge of a young life, of a young human. We are looking for the best people. And then you send a little boy with men that are, you know what I mean, that are chocolate pushing, and you send that boy home with them. And then you go home and you take your shower and you put on your slippers and your little robe and you go to bed at night. How do you lay down and close your eyes peacefully after doing something like that? I don't get it. I don't get it. I couldn't. I, just knowing that I just gave them some, oh my God. No. All right. I know. We shouldn't notice. We shouldn't notice things. I know. But no, some people are like, well, that's not true because there are so many people who have gay parents who don't turn out gay. Just because you have a gay parent doesn't mean you're gay. It's like, that's not the point. That's not the freaking point. But you know what else? You guys know what else? There has been studies that show that a lot of times gay people are people who were abused as kids. And that's the reason why they ended up being gay.
Just real quick, before I drop back, I wanted to touch on something you said earlier about rainbows and unicorns being used to attract children. It's more sinister than that. In the old folklore, unicorns were always male. They were elusive. They were hard to hunt. So in order to hunt them, they would use
Young virgins.
very, very young virgins to attract them because they were only attracted to innocence.
Yep. They're showing this stuff in front of our faces.
I suspect that's why Noah left them off the ark, by the way.
Noah, can you imagine Noah giving his boot to the face of a unicorn? He's like, boot, meat, face. Fuck off of the boat. Get off the boat. Unicorn is like, hey, can I come? Get off. Get off. Oh my God, that was a good one. I'll let you guys go now. I'm going to lay down because I have a headache. No, I don't need my glasses today, Samael. I have my contacts in, so I'm good. I'm good. 3G, don't do this. 3G says, Amira, do you like Nick Fuentes? Do I? 3G. You trying to get me in trouble today. Ah! You guys know Nick Fuentes and Destiny. They got a little thing going on. Some say it's puppy love. They say it's full grown. Did you guys know there's a video circulating the interwebs of Destiny sucking off Nick Fuentes? Did you guys know that? Oh my God. Okay. Do you guys know that? Destiny was on all fours. There's a video. Destiny has black knees. His knees are black. He said it's from praying. We know it's from something else. You did, Mexican Killer 89? Did you? Uh-huh. Did you see it, Mexican Killer 89? Did you see? Listen, because of being a YouTuber, people send me videos and I don't ask for all this stuff. Just like I told you, I'm the one who has to see the murder videos and the crazy stuff, and then I have to see the fellatio videos because people send it to me. The fact that they recorded it, I don't think that they meant to record it. That's the thing, Zealage. I don't think that it was meant to be recorded. I think that it was, they thought that they weren't being seen, but somehow a live stream was on or something like that. I don't know. I know. Listen, and all I'm saying is it's disgusting. And to think that at one point Nick Fuentes was promoted to me as an up and coming right winger who was respectable and who should be welcomed. And really, and I'm sitting here at one point thinking that, like back in like 2019, and we didn't know. And then there were rumors going around that he was a fag. But I didn't believe it because Nick Fuentes talked a good game. But turned out he's one of those. Yeah. Destiny has released compromising video of a number of people. That dude is filming everything. And that's the thing. Destiny is like the Jeffrey Epstein of the internet. You guys know how Jeffrey Epstein and P. Diddy always take videos of things. See, Jeffrey Epstein would blackmail billionaires and millionaires in order to make himself rich. Well, P. Diddy did the same and made himself rich. And I think that's Destiny's intention is to, if you don't want yourself to be seen, if you don't want the world to know your secret, that I sucked you off, well then, give me money. And I don't know what's going on with that, but to answer your question, 3G, no, I do not like Nick Fuentes. I never have. Only in the very beginning, he was promoted as somebody who should be welcomed into the right wing and so on. And ever since then, he had been exposed as someone who wasn't real. He wasn't really down for the cause. He was saying things, but he was doing the opposite because, yeah, he's promoting conservatism and conservative values while at the same time pushing chocolate. Yeah. Leave me alone, Suka Mainuka. I tried, okay? How can you trust a guy named Destiny? Yeah, seriously. Yeah, how did that ever happen? Because isn't that a girl's name anyway? Like, how did that happen that we just so naturally call him Destiny and we're like, yeah, this is normal, calling a guy Destiny. Like, you're right, 3G. Like, how do we see this as normal? I don't know how we see this as normal. But yeah, I mean, everybody's so used to calling him Destiny, so. Oh, my back. All right, I'm going to go now. I want to go lay down. Destiny is a female name. Yeah, seriously. It's a stripper name. The packing of all the fudge. Oh my God, stop. It is in his destiny. Oh no, stop. What, his destiny was be on his knees? No. Okay, guys, I can't. No. Okay, yeah, it is toaster time. Listen, well, I say every day I am getting closer to taking a bath with my friggin' toaster. Bye. I will talk to you guys later. Thank you all for joining me on this long stream, and I had a great time. You guys did take away my nausea. Thank you all for joining me today, and with that, I yield my time. Good night, everyone.
Well, I say every day it's a getting closer to taking a bath with my fucking toaster.